A quiet street in Cape Town, on a balmy summer morning, a man stumbles out of his vehicle, clutching his neck.
I knew it was shot in my neck, and I thought I was going to start bleeding now, and I knew the faster I walk, the more it will bleed probably. So I thought, well, this is now what it's like to die.
Civil attorney Jakes van der Merwe is lucky to be alive after surviving a brazen assassination attempt outside his home in Gardens. CCTV footage of the attack on him shows a grey van pulling up next to Jakes' Toyota Land Cruiser. The driver fires 2 shots through the window and speeds off. The intended target, Jakes, is badly injured but alive.
The police just said to me that they can't ensure my safety, and he said to me that it was an organized attempt on my life, and that he's 95% sure that the guy is going to come and finish the job.
It's 2 years later. The CCTV footage assisted the police in identifying Jakes' would-be assassin, but said he fled the country within weeks after the attack. Emails uncovered in the investigation showed the attacker's grievances.
This incident is an incident where the person has a huge grudge against lawyers, and he thinks that lawyers should be dealt with, and he started with me.
Lawyers in the Western Cape are under siege, facing unprecedented attacks from criminal entities hell-bent on defeating the ends of justice. Now lawyers are asking, who's next?
Jakes is one of scores of lawyers in the province who've fallen victim to attacks, threats and intimidation in recent years, simply for doing their jobs. Since 2016, physical and online attacks have escalated, with at least 4 brutal murders of top legal minds in Cape Town alone. Law associations say an attack on lawyers is an attack on justice. But some have already paid the ultimate price.
2 or 3 guys came out with masks and they came directly for Noorudien and they shot him, at closer range.
6 years ago, criminal lawyer Noorudien Hassan was shot and killed here, outside of his home, execution style. His killers have never been arrested, and his family believes that justice delayed is justice denied.
Merwe Hassan never thought she would become a widow at 36, or that her 45-year-old husband, a criminal attorney working on high-profile gang-related cases, would meet such a violent end.
It's almost surreal. It sounds like a movie.
Well, I often think, why was he murdered? Was it such a big thing that you had to murder the man?
Noorudien was a father to 2 young children, a devoted husband and pillar of his community. At the same time, he represented some of Cape Town's most notorious gang figureheads.
Did he ever feel like his life was in danger?
If he was getting threats or anything, he never said anything.
Then in October 2018, Noorudien's colleague and close friend, criminal advocate Pete Mihalik, was also assassinated. Like Noorudien, Pete had been known as a gangster lawyer who represented known high flyers in Cape Town's underworld. Both their names were at the top of an alleged hit list, and both their lives snuffed out by the barrel of a hired gun. 3 men, Sizwe Biela, Vuyile Maliti and Nkosinathi Khumalo, are currently on trial at the Western Cape High Court, charged with Mihalik's murder. Forensic analysis presented in court last week revealed that Biela was the triggerman. Noorudien Hassan's killers have never been found. At the University of Cape Town, criminologist Dr. Simon Howell tracks the interplay between the city's underworld and mainstream society and business.
It seems like there's a specific risk to criminal lawyers in the Western Cape. Why are we not seeing this trend as much in other provinces?
It's primarily in the Western Cape that organised crime is more entrenched and has such deep roots into, the legitimate sides of society as well.
Cape Town's glamorous exterior conceals an underbelly of organised crime. An unending cycle of bloody reprisals has gripped these streets as gangs compete for protection money and drug turf in entertainment hotspots to launder the proceeds of crime. The courts have now become the battleground for rival kingpins and the criminal lawyers fighting their legal battles, casualties on the front lines.
In many instances, lawyers will become involved in, perhaps not directly, but by association, will become involved in various criminal undertakings, whether it be through payment structures or whether it be through association with actual individuals. The result of which obviously is quite, they endanger themselves.
Every person accused of a crime is entitled to a defense, but with controversial clients, the work of a criminal lawyer can become as fraught as it is lucrative, and in Cape Town, also deadly. Noorudien Hassan was the first lawyer to be killed in a hit. Pete Mihalik was executed outside his children's Greenpoint school 2 years later. In May 2019, criminal defense attorney David Mbazwana was shot and killed outside a spaza shop in Khayelitsha. And in December that year, Magistrate Vernon Yankees died in a hail of bullets outside his linen shop in Lentegeur, Mitchell's Plain. Then in April 2020, prominent criminal lawyer William Booth survived an organized hit at his Cape Town home. Many of these cases have now gone cold. Those left behind, now anxious and uncertain.
The legal profession plays a pivotal role in the administration of justice. As officers of the court, lawyers need to be able to practice without fear, favor, or prejudice.
What do we understand about these people that carry out these attacks and these crimes? Are they just opportunistic individuals operating on their own?
Well, it's fundamentally they are part of a larger criminal enterprise, and the killings are carried out in the name of that enterprise.
Legal bodies say these attacks represent a threat to the rule of law and democracy. Clive Hendricks chairs the Cape Town Attorneys Association.
Some of those attacks that I've heard about doesn't really make the news, but it starts small, and if it's not dealt with appropriately, then those are the kind of things that escalates to what we've now seen in recent years.
Hendricks says the profession needs protection, which the police alone can't offer.
We've had the conversations on our huge WhatsApp groups with the thousands of lawyers that has raised complaints about certain challenges facing the legal profession.
Lawyers across South Africa belong to the WhatsApp groups and share their worries over threats. But in the Western Cape, it's the particular set of underworld factors that enhance the risk. The attacks have created a culture of paranoia. People are scared.
It is on the organized legal profession, speaking as a unified voice, to lead the charge for protection for all stakeholders in the justice system.
As the Cape Town law community continues to battle a faceless enemy, it's left many considering safer alternatives. Yet despite coming so close to death, Jakes is not prepared to give up his law career just yet.
It was just too close. I know I should either have been dead or I should have been paralyzed. It's not a miracle that I'm sitting here. It's something, it's a message for me in life.
Meanwhile, Merwe doesn't want her late husband's legacy reduced to a statistic. Even after all this time, she still brings their children to spend time at his grave.
So you say that they come and they tell him and they catch him up on what's happened in the last 6 years?
Yes.
And does it bring comfort, do you think?
It does. It really does.